suspect, that black BMW you see in the center of the screen there, is a suspect believed to, obviously they're going to sort all this out, but it's believed to have fired upon officers in the Chatsworth area. Now you can see that BMW actually has bullet holes in the windshield, bullet holes in the door, and we believe that that driver actually has that weapon in his hand. Now LAPD have a crime scene set up somewhere near Nordhoff, DeSoto, where this shooting took place. That vehicle fled the scene. There was a report of a hostage situation. We've seen him use extremely high speeds on the 101, and he got on Malibu Canyon out here, Las Virgenes, and you saw when you first came live, he was just going through that first tunnel. Now again, this is a black BMW, wanted for shots fired, attempt 187 or attempt murder on a police officer. Again, this vehicle has been running from police. They have a helicopter overhead. CHP has gotten involved, but the primary units, the ones that are basically right behind him right now, are LAPD. Excuse me. This, sorry about that shot there. Again, we are in the canyon area, moving very, very quickly. Looking out the window, I can tell you we're approaching PCH out here. I can see Pepperdine University, and again, moving at extremely high speeds. Very dangerous for the public, very dangerous for this gentleman, and officers also, as he already has shot at officers at least once this afternoon.
Now, as this car makes a move around, and we're back now on Surface Street. So now I think we're on PCH. Stu Mundell, is that correct?
That is extremely correct. We were on the freeway for a little bit out there, and then we moved out off the freeway into the Malibu area. We can tell you that we are. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Off to the left.
Okay, cool.
You've got him again.
There he is. Okay, copy. We're changing mountaintops right now. Sorry about that. We are into saddle now. Saddle 215 saddle.
If you're just joining us here on KCAL News, this is a special report, breaking news coverage of a police pursuit in Malibu. It looks like it's football right now. This started on the 101 freeway, extremely high speeds.
You can see the gun in this guy's hand. You can clearly see the weapon in this guy's hand, dropping what, I don't know what that was that he was throwing right there, but has not let that weapon go. Officers are in foot pursuit, obviously, and the helicopter is overhead. I believe we are at that park that basically is at the end of the Malibu Canyon. He's basically running down the hillside out here, just through the brush. There is no path or anything in this area. Making his way, whoop, he just fell right there, took a fall. We're gonna stay in this area. I wanna see if he pops up, but there are some trees right there. Obviously the helicopter overhead, I got a glimpse of him right there. Again, this guy has a weapon in his hand, does not let go of that weapon, and still running from officers. Now LAPD is a little bit up on the hillside up there, a little bit behind it. I can assure you that helicopter is giving them information right now. Second fall for this guy, and again, he's probably running out of steam. Hopefully he's got some sense to let go of that gun before this really becomes ugly. He's working his way down the hillside now. Again, he's going to be almost right on the beach. There are some homes in this area. This is an armed suspect, has obviously no regard. I'm worried about the people in these homes in this area as he walks his way, slowly now walking his way down the hillside. I can hear on another channel that the helicopter is basically guiding the other units onto that roadside that he's going to be approaching here very shortly. Again, though, this pursuit started in the Chatsworth area, and basically this guy left the vehicle and ran. And that's what you saw right there was the helicopter, the LAPD helicopter that went through the shot. This guy walking very slowly now. I can't see if he basically has dropped that weapon finally, which will basically de-escalate this scene a lot. But again, you can see this guy not in custody yet, just walking his way down the hillside. I'm looking out the window. I do not want to lose this guy on the hillside. We have officers on the road down there. I at least see one, maybe a sheriff's unit. But again, he's basically walking his way towards that officer. Unclear if he knows it's going on. Kent, and Susie, this is one of the craziest pursuits we saw. I am so thankful this guy dropped that weapon.
Stu,
hopefully this will come to a peaceful conclusion.
It certainly does appear after that second tumble that this suspect simply stopped running and started walking. We don't see a weapon in his hand any longer. We're going to split the screen right here, showing a live picture on the left side of your screen with the suspect currently. Videotape from earlier at the very end of the chase that started in the San Fernando Valley, this driver exiting that BMW at a real high rate of speed, dropping or jettisoning whatever it was right there, but continuing to hold on to that silver-plated handgun or whatever it was, silver in color, as he ran. Now, once again, videotape on the right side of your screen, the left side of your screen. Susie, it appears as though this suspect has simply sat down in the middle of this field.
That's true. We saw him fall actually twice going down that hill. Very rough terrain there. The driver of the black BMW is what you're looking at right now. He was wanted actually for attempted murder on a police officer, believed to be involved in possibly 2 separate officer-involved shootings this evening. And obviously officers want to proceed with caution with this man because we know he's dangerous.
This chase in the middle of the end of the evening rush hour, the 101 freeway through the San Fernando Valley off at Las Virgenes Road, the 101 freeway west to Las Virgenes and then Malibu Canyon. This driver splitting lanes, going into opposing traffic, running through traffic cones, and then finally just running out of steam right here after an exhausting run. Now sitting down, looking around. Of course, no one has any idea what's in his mind right now, but everyone knows that there's going to be a lot of difficulty should this person try to avoid being taken into custody in a physical manner, because police have been watching him and they know that this is a very dangerous person.
And Stu, you had mentioned that the suspect might be possibly walking towards a sheriff's deputy. Do you still see that happening? Is that road behind or below him right there? Is that a residential street?
It is. It is a residential street. There are officers down there, at least 2 sheriff's units. There's a number of LAPD. I believe that the helicopter still, you can just hear the tenseness in these officers' voices. They are trained to handle these types of situations, but you can hear the level of anxiety in their voices this afternoon. And again, this guy, he's on a hillside. And, you know, as we're getting a little bit, you know, he's not running, we're slowing down, we're actually catching our breath as well. I can almost tell you that it looks like he has a mask on. I'm unclear on that right now. It seems that he has a mask on. I'm looking out the window right now. I don't want to lose the position. He is actually on a hillside. This is the hillside is right at that park. If you ever travel Malibu Canyon, right at PCH, there's a park that's right on the west side that takes you over to the ocean side, overlooks the ocean. He basically ran out a road and ran across that field and then basically ran and fell down that hillside. There are a number of officers now down on that road that is basically right there at the water side, and LAPD is joining those 2 sheriff's units that seem to have a better idea where this guy is.
And now he's lying down,
I'm not sure. Yeah, you know, when he fell, he put his head back, and you can actually see maybe a wound underneath his chin. I can't tell you how bad that wound is, but you could definitely see blood, and so maybe that happened maybe from flying glass. That car was shot at apparently a lot. There are broken windows, bullet holes in the windshield, so unclear if that was from a bullet or maybe flying glass. But this suspect dropping the gun, probably if it happened on purpose or not, the best thing that could have happened is he is not armed at this time. Officers, though, still very, very tense. This guy not in custody. I'm sure they're not going to allow him to have that high ground as he has right now. So this may turn into a standoff, or he might just walk down and give himself up.
And Stu, do you see any other police officers or sheriff's deputies walking towards him, maybe down the hill the way that he traveled? I know that there's sheriff's deputies and police officers waiting downhill there.
At the very top of the hillside, I'm looking out the window and I can actually see officers in their SUV type of vehicles that basically drove across the field to get to that point. I got out of the doubler for a second because I really want to show the public where this guy is and get you guys a better idea. He is on a very steep hillside, and there you can see those homes. Obviously, he's not going to make it to those homes. Their danger level has dropped dramatically. But those officers down there, they are all armed. They are waiting for this guy. Again, I know the airship has probably the same view as we do. When I say airship, I mean the LAPD helicopter. So obviously he has been talking to the units on the ground. Hopefully he has passed along that information that he is not armed anymore, or believed to be armed. For all we know, he has a second weapon on him. We just are watching, and things will be sorted out later. But again, he's definitely, like you said, laying down right now. The wound that we saw earlier doesn't seem to be bleeding out, so he's probably still conscious. He's probably exhausted and just trying to figure out what's going to happen next.
The road that he took there,
incapacitated to the point where he's unconscious. We have seen him roll around. We've seen him move every now and then. So he's basically just laying there. It is getting darker and darker. I'm going to have to adjust the camera here in a few minutes, but you can just see him laying there. Officers got their lights on him. He's totally surrounded. It's just a matter of time that they take this guy into custody. What area? This is the top of UCLA Medical Center, and that is County Fire Air 16 that just transported that suspect that they took into custody from Malibu out over to here. We saw at least 3 officers get out of that helicopter along with that suspect. Now, we have unconfirmed reports that that suspect had been shot. That was not when they took him into custody. We believe that was before this, before they took him into custody, and maybe even before the pursuit started. But we do know that he was taken into custody and transported here to UCLA Medical. We saw that on the gurney. We saw them bring him inside the hospital along with officers. So this brings that part of this pursuit from this afternoon to an end, as that suspect is in custody and now in a medical facility. Live in Sky 9.